Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Claire Bennett. Today we're talking about a question that's real, relatable, and easy to turn into an argument if we answer it in extremes. Is emotional strength more attractive than physical looks? If you've ever seen a man who isn't perfect looking by social media standards, but somehow he gets respect, attention, and genuine interest wherever he goes, while another man with better looks gets overlooked, taken lightly, or can't hold a relationship long term, you understand why this question matters. But I'll say this up front. This isn't a story of looks don't matter or emotional strength is all you need. There's no absolute answer. Everyone has preferences. Different stages of life come with different priorities. Context matters more than any single factor. What I'm going to do in this episode is break it down clearly. What looks actually do, what emotional strength really is, why it can be powerfully attractive, and most importantly, how you can build it in a healthy way without becoming cold, without becoming unfeeling, and without losing your warmth as a man. Let's start with a simple scene. Two men walk into a room. The first guy looks decent, dresses well, but his eyes carry tension. He over-explains. He reacts strongly when teased. He seems like he needs approval. The second guy might not be the most handsome by internet standards, but he stands calmly, speaks slower, listens well, smiles at the right moments, doesn't rush to prove himself, and stays steady when tension shows up. Many people, unconsciously, will feel drawn toward the second man. Why? Because he creates a feeling of safety, stability, and inner strength. That's where emotional strength becomes a form of attraction. So what is emotional strength? It's not having no emotions. It's not repressing everything until you explode later. It's not pretending you don't care to look cool. Emotional strength is the ability to feel your emotions, understand them, regulate them, and express them responsibly. In simple terms, you can be sad without collapsing. You can be angry without destroying. You can love without clinging. You can be rejected without losing your dignity. You can have boundaries and still be kind. You can face conflict while staying respectful. And what about looks? Do they matter? Yes. Physical appearance often shapes first impressions. It's like a door that can make someone more willing to notice you, talk to you longer, or give you an early chance. But after that door opens, what keeps someone close is usually the emotional experience, how they feel around you, whether they feel calm, whether they feel respected, whether they sense maturity, whether you love in a healthy way. So here's the balanced truth. Looks can open doors faster, but emotional strength often determines how far you can go once you're inside. And this is where many men get stuck. They assume they need to become more attractive physically to be lovable. They pour all their energy into body, clothes, hair. Those things matter and they're not wrong, but they neglect what creates long-term attraction: communication, boundaries, stability, emotional regulation, and self-respect. The result is they might get attention at first, but they lose people over time because of insecurity, jealousy, inconsistency, emotional chaos, or simply because being with them feels exhausting. Now let's talk psychology. Why is emotional strength attractive? There are three big reasons. First, it creates safety. In relationships, safety is powerful. Safety doesn't mean boring. Safety means you're not forcing someone to guess your mood, not making them walk on eggshells, not punishing them with silence, and not exploding, apologizing, then repeating the cycle. A man with emotional strength creates the feeling, I can be myself here, and that feeling is deeply attractive. Second, it creates respect. When you can manage your reactions, you show self-mastery. Not dominance over others, self-mastery over yourself. And respect often supports attraction, especially once the relationship moves past the initial crush stage and into the building stage. Third, it feels rare. A lot of people are adults in age, but not adults emotionally. Many react from old wounds. They avoid, attack, manipulate, or cling. So when a man can be calm, clear, warm, and boundaried, it's rare, and rare experiences stand out. Of course, we also need to stay honest. In some contexts, looks matter more. Dating apps are a strong example. First impressions are mostly photos. Short-term situations can also prioritize physical attraction, and some people strongly prioritize sexual chemistry. But even in those contexts, emotional strength still affects whether you earn respect, whether you maintain attraction, and whether anything becomes stable and meaningful. Now let's talk about what emotional strength looks like in behavior and why those behaviors are attractive. Remember, no single sign guarantees anything. Look for patterns. Sign 1, he doesn't react instantly. When teased, misunderstood, or challenged, he doesn't explode. He pauses, breathes, then responds clearly. Why is that attractive? Because it signals control and stability, which creates safety. Sign 2, he's direct but not harsh. He can say, I don't like that, without insulting. He can say, I need clarity, without pressuring. Why is that attractive? Because clarity reduces anxiety, and less anxiety often means more attraction. Sign 3, he has boundaries and follows through. Not boundaries to control her, but boundaries to protect dignity. For example, if she repeatedly cancels last minute, he addresses it and adjusts calmly instead of complaining or chasing. Why is that attractive? Because it shows self-respect. Sign 4, he doesn't cling for reassurance. He isn't constantly asking, do you like me? Are you leaving? What are you thinking? He cares, but he isn't dependent. Why is that attractive? Because self-led affection feels light, not heavy. Sign 5, he handles jealousy through communication, not control. If something bothers him, he talks about feelings and needs instead of interrogating, tracking, or policing. Why is that attractive? Because it signals maturity and respect. Sign 6, he keeps his own life. He has goals, friends, work, routines. He doesn't place the entire meaning of his life on one woman. Why is that attractive? Because a full life creates grounded energy and natural confidence. Let me give you 2 mini scenarios to show the difference between emotional strength and emotional weakness in the exact same situation. Scenario 1, she replies slowly. A man without emotional strength panics. He double texts, pushes for reassurance, spirals into assumptions, then might go cold to teach a lesson. A man with emotional strength keeps living his life. And if it becomes a pattern that affects connection, he communicates calmly. I like talking to you. I'd enjoy a bit more consistency. If you're not much of a texter, we can do calls or plan meetups more. That's steady. No clinging, no punishment, just clarity. Scenario 2, she makes a slightly disrespectful comment in front of friends. A man without emotional strength humiliates her back or stays silent and builds resentment. A man with emotional strength keeps composure in the moment, then later says privately, what you said earlier felt disrespectful. I'm okay with playful teasing, but I'm not okay with being embarrassed. Then he pauses and listens. That's emotional strength, boundaries with respect. Now you might be thinking, okay, that sounds attractive, but how do I build it? This is the most important part because emotional strength is not something you're either born with or not. It's a skill, and like any skill, it can be trained. Here are 6 practical ways to build emotional strength without becoming cold or robotic. Step 1, learn to pause before you react. If you can create a 3 to 5 second pause when you're triggered, you change everything. Breathe. Ask yourself, what am I feeling and what do I actually want to accomplish? That pause helps you choose your response instead of being dragged by emotion. Step 2, use a clean communication format. I feel, because, and I would like. This helps you avoid blame and criticism. For example, I feel disrespected when plans change last minute because I made time for you. I'd like us to plan in a way that respects both our schedules. This is powerful because it's honest and non-attacking. Step 3, build a stable daily rhythm. It sounds unrelated, but it's directly connected. If you're sleep deprived, overstressed, never moving your body, your nervous system becomes chaotic. You can't be emotionally steady if your body is constantly on edge. Sleep, exercise, routine, these are emotional regulation tools. Step 4, stop outsourcing your self-worth to her responses. If her texting becomes your self-esteem meter, you'll stay unstable. Remind yourself, I have value even if I'm not chosen. When you stop outsourcing self-worth, you cling less and you become more attractive. Step 5, practice tolerating uncertainty. Early dating is always uncertain. A strong man doesn't need instant labels to feel safe. He lets time and consistency reveal the truth. And when he needs clarity, he communicates. He doesn't panic. Step 6, choose compatible people. This is a quiet truth. You can't stay emotionally strong forever in a toxic environment. If someone constantly disrespects you, manipulates, or thrives on drama, you'll get pulled into chaos. Emotional strength also means knowing when to walk away. Now let's return to the original question. Is emotional strength more attractive than physical looks? Here's the balanced answer. Looks can help you get noticed faster, but emotional strength often helps you be valued deeper, and it helps relationships last longer. For many women, especially as they mature and want something real, emotional strength isn't just attractive, it's a requirement. Because they don't want a man who makes them anxious, confused, or unsafe. They want a man who can stay grounded and love responsibly. But one more important thing, emotional strength doesn't mean becoming cold. If you turn strength into emotional distance, calm into numbness, or boundaries into control, that's not emotional strength. Real emotional strength always includes warmth. It's calm and kind. You can be gentle without being weak. You can be firm without being harsh. You can love deeply without clinging. Here's a quick self-check. When someone is around you, do they feel lighter or do they feel tense? Do they feel safe to be honest? Or do they feel they have to walk carefully? Do they feel respected or monitored? If your presence feels lighter, honest, and respectful, you're on the right path. If your presence feels tense, guarded, and controlling, your emotional strength needs work. To make this practical, here's a simple 7-day plan to start building emotional strength without trying to change your whole life overnight. Day 1. Notice one moment you get triggered. Just observe what happens in your body: tight chest, fast heart, urge to text, urge to argue. Write it down. Day 2. Practice a 5-second pause before replying to a message that triggers you. Day 3. Use the "I feel because I'd like" format in a small situation, no drama required. Day 4. Sleep 30 minutes earlier and move your body for 20 minutes. A regulated body supports a regulated mind. Day 5. Do one thing you enjoy purely for yourself, something that reminds your nervous system you have a life. Day 6. Set one small, polite boundary. I'm busy tonight, let's talk tomorrow. Day 7. Reflect. Do you feel less anxious, less clingy, more self-respecting? Small shifts, practice consistently, create big changes. Because emotional strength isn't one perfect sentence. It's a way of living. And here's the final thought. Looks may make someone turn their head, but emotional strength makes someone want to stay and build with you. And the beautiful thing is this: looks have limits based on genetics and time, but emotional strength can be trained. The more you train it, the more attractive you become, and the healthier your relationships become too. And that's all for today's episode. Thank you for taking the time to listen all the way to the end. If you found this episode helpful, don't forget to subscribe and share it with someone who might need to hear this. I'll see you again in the next episode.